Folks, it's Seamus and Craig here, and we are joined by the legendary Dr Rachel Barrie at a bit of mecca for sherry cask maturation, the Glendronach distillery. Rachel, we're here to talk through this incredible whiskey.
Wonderful, and I'm just delighted that you're here at the distillery in Warehouse 4, where we have many of our treasures, our sleeping beauties of sherry casks. The perfect place for us now to introduce and share the delights of the Glendronach specially selected for the Whisky Club.
Well, it's a delight for you to have Craig and I here, and it's been incredible to get around the distillery and see so much of what's evolving at Glendronach, but it's just this incredible piece of history as well. I mean, with 200 years right around the corner, could you tell us a little bit about the history of the Glendronach distillery?
Absolutely. 1826 was when it was established. Since then, the distillery has been perfecting the art of sherry cask maturation, and it's a very, very special distillery. As you walk around, you'll get the feeling that it is like a step back in time. It's virtually unchanged, the same dunnage warehouse as we're in, still using traditional methods, so our wooden washbacks, and you'll have seen our beautiful saxophone-shaped stills, which go into creating a very robust Highland malt that is also very mellow.
Well, a lot of our members will know you as the master of sherry cask maturation. Across the years, we've worked with you on so many interesting approaches to sherry casks, but to have a distillery like Glendronach under your belt where it really is that Pedro Jimenez, that Oloroso, it must be so incredible to work with.
I mean, Glendronach, I was born and brought up here, so it's very, very, very close to my heart and my soul. And of course, being such an incredibly robust Highland spirit, I mean, that can't be emphasised enough, I think. Even before sherry cask maturation, we have to remember that, is that it's very rare to have a distillery in the Eastern Highlands. There's very, very few, and certainly one that has this robust character as well as this elegance. So of course, sherry casks are the perfect combination to bring out that duality of character that just shines through, from the spirit of the still right through to the use of Spanish oak in maturation, which is a hybrid of different species. So for me, it just is perfect for the Glendronach. And then also as you mentioned, the use of Pedro Jimenez and Oloroso casks, which again creates that duality, because each on their own are quite distinctly different, but together they create a perfect symphony of flavour on the palate that is just so richly rewarding.
It's been an absolute delight to collaborate with you on this whiskey. Every time we've gotten a chance to work with you, it's been this wonderful dialogue of ideas, and the Glendronach is just such a fun whiskey to work with. I would love it if you could walk Craig and I through how you put this whiskey together.
This whiskey is a moment in time. Let's put it like that. This is a vintage whiskey, so it's all from 2013. So it's very, 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 very rare for us to ever release a whiskey as a vintage. So first and foremost, we don't have one, in our core lineup. And the only way you're going to get anything from 2013 or 2012, 2011, any of these years, is actually only if you make the pilgrimage to come here to the distillery and to fill your own bottle, because that's where I will cherry pick the very best for the whole place, to bottle your own, basically, here at the distillery. This is very special for that reason, because this just doesn't happen. We just don't release vintage Glendronach from 2013. This is the first. To create this whiskey, I selected casks actually predominantly from the autumn months, when I always find Glendronach is at its best. This whiskey just really encapsulates that wonderful warmth.
What was the note that either surprised you or that you went searching for?
Oh my goodness, you're full of great questions, aren't you, Craig? It was the combination of the flamenco with the mellow crescendo. So together, it gave this incredible warmth of the spices, just like the flamenco from Spain, in conjunction with this mellow crescendo that built with time.
difference.
Because this is 50.1%, of course, which
Yeah.
to me, again, is not just about going into the warehouse and collecting casks. That, of course, is the biggest part of it. But it's also then fine-tuning the strength. So when this bottle is delivered to your wonderful members, they can pop open the cork and they can enjoy it at the full strength, knowing it's going to be generous and delicious and give them everything they want. Glendronach is a little bit like a really rich wine in that it loves to open up, to reveal its full generosity. So what I do, and this is a little kind of ritual of mine, is I give it a bosey, which is I give it a little hug. You've got the perfect jumper for this. You do. And this is like speeding up the process of having it sitting at room temperature, sitting open for a couple of hours, because after that time, it will just keep getting better and better. So let's go back and let's give it a nosy and see how it's changed after our bosey.
Right.
Boy, has that opened up.
You're getting this ginger spice coming through.
The warmth of ginger, maybe ginger spiced orange, just a dusting of cinnamon, but always the depth is there. I'm getting like creme brulee now, which I hadn't noticed when I first popped the cork. Creme brulee with the beautiful, almost muscovado sugar on top. That beautiful caramelization and baked caramelization that you especially get from an Oloroso sherry cask as opposed to a Pedro Jimenez. You get more of that caramelization, you get more of the creme brulee, and the fruit comes through as that ginger spiced orange and some raisin flambé.
Absolutely. It's so quintessential Glendronach, but at the same time it's doing something that feels completely unique. Rachel, you've spoken us through this incredible spirit, these amazing Oloroso casks. What was the composition? What were those 26 casks?
Well, the 26 casks happen to all be from Miguel Martin, one of the best suppliers of Spanish oak Oloroso sherry casks. This batch were all first fill Oloroso, so they'd never touched another whiskey before Glendronach. Only the Oloroso sherry and then the Glendronach prior to being bottled for the Whisky Club.
That's incredible.
So we've got single vintage, single cask type, single cooperage, all first fill.
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just for you.
And you can tell, you know when you taste this whiskey, and it's just richness personified with the spirit punching through.
And we haven't even tasted it yet.
No.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That back palate is
Oh my
unbelievable.
goodness.
Just hits at the start and then...
So it
builds
was
and builds.
kind of mellow to start with and creamy. The creme caramel, creme brulee, and then the flamenco with the sherry crescendo, which is the hallmark of the Glendronach. The amplification of everything you found on the nose and a few other things thrown in. And it just builds and builds and builds and builds. And it gets more and more voluptuous, it gets more and more juicy, and it doesn't fade. It just keeps going on and on and on and on until, of course, you want to have another sip.
And then you start again. It's fantastic.
This is what I love about Oloroso. Oloroso will open things up into the sides of the palate with the acidity of the Oloroso, as well as the caramelization. And that's why together you get that balance. But boy, is this the depth of Oloroso. This is going deep into Oloroso. What do you think, guys? Did it exceed your expectations?
It
That's the question.
really always does.
But at the end of the day, the wonderful Whisky Club members, you are the final arbiters of quality. I love hearing what you all think, and I can't wait to hear when you get your hands on a bottle what you think of this. And, you know, hopefully you will agree with everything we've said, and maybe just throw a few other beautiful tasting notes that you find as well. It's a very, very special whiskey. For those of you who already know about the Glendronach, you might know that we do have one whiskey in our core range that is all Oloroso. The Glendronach, 18 years old. It's iconic in its regard, and there are elements of the tasting notes that you find in the 18 years old, like the muscovado sugar, like the creme brulee. If you're already a fan of Glendronach and the 18 years old, this absolutely is the whiskey for you. This is probably the favourite part of my job, is putting together these wonderful, bespoke, very limited edition batches. Each one to me, when I nose and taste it, it tells me the story. When this is long gone, I will still feel the story of the Whisky Club Oloroso expression, and I hope you do too.
Well, that's beautifully put, Rachel, and I think it puts a wonderful cap on what is a delightful whiskey. So I think Craig and I and all the folks at the Whisky Club get to say a massive cheers for you talking us through this whiskey, and to raise a glass.
Yeah, a raise a glass to the whiskey, to you guys, to all the members of the Whisky Club. Most importantly, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.